It's Flat Earth Friday, and we are live. How are you doing this evening, brother?
I'm great. It's great to be here tonight. I'm looking forward to the podcast. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah, another Flat Earth Friday. This is going to be some fun stuff to go through tonight. We're going to be talking about how far we can see. I put a poll, a makeshift poll, in the chat. Why don't you chime in, everybody, and tell us how far you think you can see? And we're going to be looking at some of the evidence that shows just how far it is that we can see. And we're going to see that there's psyops at play, and we're going to be exposing psyops, and it's all the fake flat earthers again. We seem to always be having to clean up some sort of mess that they've been making, right?
Okay, come on. Jason and I are just dedicated to the truth, all truth. We're not simply one trick ponies. We want to cover everything, and understanding your reality around you has got to be key. It's a vital understanding your world view. It goes into play when it comes down to your decision maker. And we love to fight and investigate and share truth. That's what we do, and we're going to be doing that till kingdom come. So this is a topic that we've been covering since about 2013, 2014, and it's come
Well,
around.
you've been doing it that long. I'm more of a 2016er.
Well, you were doing it behind the scenes on blogs and places like Godlike Productions and other
Yeah.
areas, the same amount of time. 2012 seems to be the time when
Truthing, yeah,
everybody.
truthing. I didn't become a YouTuber until around 2016, but I get what you're talking about.
Yeah, after 2012, people just all of a sudden woke up to a lot of the deceptions of reality. And the one thing I want to say is it's incredible how many people have fallen away since I started doing this. It's about a 10-year anniversary this month for me with researching and fighting for truth. And it's incredible. There's only like Dutch Sense, who sold out to the White Dragons like 10 years ago, or just after I started. Dutch Sense was around, and Russian Vids. Now what is he called now? Truth Now, or Now They See, or
they
whatever.
live.
They Live. That's it. Yeah. From the Roddy Piper movie, right? And so what I'm trying to get to, my point here is it's incredible that people can fall away from the truth, yet some people, they just are so dedicated that it doesn't matter what goes on. They're still going to get up here and fight for the truth. And that happens to be me and you, brother. I don't have any hatred. I have no hatred towards anybody out there on the other side. Anyone that's promoting false disinformation, I too did at one point. I thought I lived on a sphere ball Earth flying through outer space with people stuck upside down. Now, upon investigation, we've realized that that's not the truth. So, but when you start there, you realize, well, most things they do is they give you a false dichotomy. So it's either the spinning sphere Earth, or they give you the domed pizza model flying through outer space.
And
Right? The
we
false
both,
dichotomy.
yeah, we both went for the spinning circle Earth at first, right? Until we tried to model it up, and then we saw, nope, that can't work.
Yeah, the sun's rise and set positions. I could not believe it. A channel like Karen B teaching people how to declinate, right? How to declinate for magnetic declination, showing everybody how to do it using shadows, gnomons, and this and that, but how she can simply not measure the rise and set angles of the sun during the 6 months of the year after the fall equinox and realize that the sun is circling completely off of her fake AE map model. How someone could be that intelligent to make the video on magnetic declination, but still not understand how the sun rises and sets circling the other direction, And so we've found some more stuff. There's people out here that are posting up links saying that they can see 700 miles. So, and what it is they say, well, you have to destroy your camera and turn it into an infrared lens, and then you can see further, they say. What do you think of that, Jason? Or continue on with whatever it is that you wanted to say.
Yeah, well, yeah. So Jaren is one of these guys that is part of this. You can see too far psyop. He was live just. Well, he might be live right now, and he was talking about the horizon, but he's like the Canagoo guy, where he was saying we could see 160 miles, and we showed that you can't, and so yeah, you're bringing up the 700-mile thing, and so one of the things that we want to do is show everybody how you can decipher for yourself whether or not somebody's trying to pull one over on you. So we're going to be going through the steps that you look at to see whether or not this is even a valid suggestion that you can see these types of distances. And yeah, it's time after time after time what we see is that The fake flat earthers put forth false evidences for Earth being flat, because what they want to do is make it discreditable. They want to have falsified information and say, look, you can see too far, and then somebody actually checks it out. No, that's a lie, that's disinformation. And then the cognitive process that they want you to assume is that Earth must not be flat if the supposed flat earthers are faking and falsifying information. So there really clearly is a group of people working to destroy flat Earth, and that group is the people that push Earth doing circles, horizontally above your head. If somebody tells you the sun is going around like this, right, that person is the worst thing that's ever happened to flat Earth, because that's not what's happening. And we're just going to continue to go through that and show everybody that the way the sun rotates is not horizontal, circles above your head, but it's going around you horizon to horizon, and it actually rises and sets into the ground.
It's also a scriptural proof. There's tons and tons of scriptures that talk about the sun rising and setting. And then we're going to dip our toes back into the waters of how the sun is super local and it's actually in the clouds in our sky, right? Which, unfortunately, the people that believe in the circling sun and the AE map and model, it's supposed to be 3,000 miles up. Those clouds, newsflash, those clouds are not 3,000 miles. So nobody answered in the chat as to how far they think they can see, right? So how far is the sun? How far is the moon? How far are the luminaries? These are different distances of things that we can actually observe, right?
Now, or let's say a mountain or a tall building. What's a person's longest observation? Where you live, do you have a tall building? Do you have a high point? Have you ever gone there and looked to see how far you could see? Could you, from some lookout's nest, see another state you were supposedly told? Or could you see an ocean? Or, how far away were you when you're seeing your farthest distance? And there's no wrong answer. Like, go ahead and share how far you've seen. Yeah. And then let's talk about how far the luminaries are later too.
Yeah, how far everything is. That's something that we constantly want to test ourselves on. It's, I found out Earth's not a sphere. First thing I wanted to do was, how far can I see? So I got a camera and I started testing with different type zooms, right? And measuring things that I can optically see. And that's when I did stumble upon clouds being behind the sun and the moon, right? So we're going to be getting into more than just, your regular flat Earth topics. We're going to be getting into blowing the whole entire reality away with simple observations that everybody can do that are verifiable, repeatable, and testable by every single living being that has eyes. Every single observer, including every camera and every single thing that you can use to record anything, can actually observe everything that we're going to be sharing tonight. And that's just really, this is what we look forward to doing.
And there's one more topic. So we've talked about two so far. The first is going to be the distance so that we can see. The second one's going to be the clouds behind the sun, all that kind of stuff. The third one has to do with a circling, never setting sun, right? Because we're getting closer to the summer solstice, June 21st, summer solstice. That's when the sun's got its most northerly path. And so this would be the time of the year that the globe and the Freemason New World Order AE map and model pressurized pizza dome flying through outer space, that's when those models demand that we have a sun circling, above the horizon, never setting. How many of you have ever experienced a day where you went out and you saw the sun stay above the horizon all 360 degrees all the way around you, where the sun never went below the horizon? Well, we're going out on a limb here and saying that it doesn't happen because there's no evidence of it. We only see a few CGI, a few doctored, masked and trimmed videos that that's it. So we're going to be going into whether or not there is a circling sun that never sets, like going around Polaris this time of the year.
Yeah. So that's what we got planned, and I'm looking forward to it. There's nothing better that we're going to do on a Friday night. Try to, investigate the truth and share some new music and have a good time.
Yeah, and we can go into Motion to take a look at some of this stuff too. So we've got some fun tabs, and we got some great music, and we'll be doing some 3D modeling. So hopefully there's some input from everybody, and we start talking about how far it is that we can actually see. Is there anything else you want to go through, brother? All right, well, we'll start talking about the distance you can see when we're back. See you in a second.
You don't need to look so appalled. I take care of it all. It's medicinal. Don't pick up, I just called to say I'm happy as can be. I'm melting away. Don't get mad at me. I'm just sleeping lightly. 'Cause it's my big day, and I'm wasting it away gladly. Aerosols drifting through the halls at high decibels. Have I really lowered the bar, or am I working hard? Inspirational. Lie me down, 'cause I'm not feeling so good. And it's my big day, and I'm not leaving sober. No way. Last day of the summer, nighttime with the windows down, face down in the corner. Must remember to write this down. I'ma push it further. Don't hit me when it all falls down. I'll stand a little taller. I'm begging you, just don't get mad at me. I'm just sleeping lightly. 'Cause it's my big day, and I'm wasting it away. Don't get mad at me. I'm just sleeping lightly. 'Cause it's my big day, and I'm not even sober. No way. Last day of the summer, nighttime with the windows down, face down in the corner. Must remember to write this down. I'ma push it further. Don't hit me when it all falls down. I'll stand a little taller. I'm begging you, just don't get mad.
And we are back. And we are at Twitter right now. We are looking at some disinformation.
Here we go. Twitter, Mount Snowdon in Wales, apparently seeing the Alps at 700 miles.
All right. So let's make some sense of this right here. We've got this YRYDDFA. I guess that's Mount Snowdon. And then we've got these lines right here. And then we've got Switzerland down here, the Swiss Alps. All right. This is pretty impressive, right? That proves flat Earth, right? If you could see that far.
Yeah, without a doubt, right? Of course.
Well, here's the evidence, everybody. So here's the Mount Snowdon, and you look off in the distance, and you see, these little white caps right here, and that's the Swiss Alps, according
That's what they're saying. That's
according to the fake flat earthers. So remember, we're in England. So start doing some deductive reasoning. You're looking over, here's London in this area. You're looking over the English Channel. You're seeing completely across France and whatever other little countries are in here, all the way to Switzerland, supposedly from this picture taken in Wales. All right, so
a couple of problems to start off with the picture.
yeah, well, this is the way for you to see whether or not somebody's trying to pull your leg on something like this, because there is a distance to the horizon that we can see. And that distance to the horizon is something that's going to tell you how far you can see based on how high you are. There's a number of different ways of looking at it. And so, I mean, if you do a Google search for distance to the horizon, the furthest distance to the horizon that the human eye can see varies slightly depending on a person's height. In miles, the horizon is approximately 3.1 miles away. So there is an actual distance to the horizon, and for the eyes that are, close to 6 foot tall, you're able to see 3.1 miles away.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So what we need to really just slow down and drill in, maybe there might be some people watching new that haven't heard us discuss this. So the way that they faked the curvature of the Earth was by using what we call the vanishing point. So for every observer, depending on their altitude, they will have a different length to their vanishing point. And a 6 foot observer can see to the vanishing point is 3.1 miles in distance. And that's a vanishing point on a flat plane, right? And this is how they were able to psyop people into believing that they were on a ball Earth, because Robotham had to concede defeat, because the further they went away from the lighthouse, the less and less of the lighthouse you could see, and they thought this was curvature, right? But what Jason and I have shown through the Molly Angel video, where he had a model walk to the end of the hallway and he put the camera on the floor, and lo and behold, we couldn't see the bottoms of our feet the same way we see interacting objects on the flat plane. So what we're talking about now is getting you to understand that how far you can see to the point where everything is obscured due to the fact of the way that the vanishing point works on your horizon.
Yeah, so the first thing that came to my mind is I'm like, Wales? There can't be anything really high in Wales, right? So what is it that you need in order to be able to see a farther distance? You need elevation. So the first thing that you need to do when somebody says that they can see this record distance, like 700 miles, is figure out how high the highest observation point is. So you can do a little bit of checking, and Snowdon, this mountain, it's the highest mountain in Wales at an elevation of 1,085 meters, which is 3,560 feet above sea level. So while 3560 is better than like the tallest building, you could go to the Burj Khalifa and they have an observation deck at about 1,800 feet. So this is nearly double that. So you're going to be able to see farther. But what you need to do is to go look at something like a distance to the horizon calculator and see whether or not the claim is even feasible. All right. So what was our height? That was 3,560.
It's pretty high still.
Yeah.
So you do have more of a larger field of view.
That's beat. And so that distance, bing bing, is 73.1 miles.
That's it. Wow.
Ooh. All right. So
pretty far. That is far.
It is far. But let's take a look at this mountain here over there in Wales. And so it's located up here, and you're going to see that all right, so from this point right here, what bodies of water are you able to see? You're able to see to the southwest, this bay here, to the west, this bay here, and the next closest view would be to the north. So when we go back to the picture that was being shared here, it's got this lake right here, and this lake is in the shot, so we can actually tell that this picture is being shot towards the Alps. That is the correct direction right there. And all right, so it is, that picture is sort of angled that direction, but that means that you have to see over this part of England, you have to see over the English Channel, you have to see over France, and you have to see the Alps. So if you come in here and you take a look around here, and we do some measuring, remember, what was it, 73 73.1 miles. So let's see where that comes out. "73 miles. We're going that direction.
Yeah, you just passed. Well, right there.
Right there.
Those are the peaks that are probably snow covered in the shot.
Let's see. How do I just...
Right there, 73 miles.
It just wants to keep pulling another distance. But I want to show everybody that here's the Swiss Alps over here. All right. So from that elevation, you can see 73 miles. And what do you have here? You have these mountains in the distance. And I want to show you some other stuff from so the Google Earth. We're up at that peak, and there's that lake that's in that shot. And so this is the direction that we're looking off here. And when you look this time, see the clouds are right here, and off in the distance you don't see any white caps. But let's go and turn around here. And so here the mountains, tall enough that the clouds are near the top here. What does this look like off in the distance over here? Is that the Alps looking the other direction?
There's the Swiss Alps, huh?
There it is.
In the clouds. Everything's in the clouds.
So you can actually see from up here. All right, so we're basically looking
Almost back.
west right here. We're looking west right here, and here is a bay up at the top right here. And when we're looking southwest, here is the bay right here. So if you want to go back and get your orientation from up here at the top of that mountain, if you're looking due west, you're looking at this bay, and if you're looking to the southwest, you're looking at this bay. All right, that's how far you can see from the top of this mountain. You can't even see the end. You can't see the end of this peninsula out here. All right. You can't see the next island over. All right. What's that? You got Ireland over here. You can't see Dublin from up here. Yet they're trying to tell you that you can see the Swiss Alps. 700 miles here.
Yeah, more discreditable information that when challenged, the globe earthers say, see, of course you live on a ball of earth, right? Look at these guys lying and faking their distances that they can see.
So let me point that out again. Here's the one bay here. Here's the other bay here. You cannot even see to the end of this. You can't see Ireland. And then they wanna tell you that from here looking this direction, that this right here is the Swiss Alps. So who's falling for this? Who would look at this and think to themselves, wow, that proves flat Earth?
You know, a lot of people probably get fooled very easily.
Well, that's the reason why we have to come out here and do what we do, because they're making people that would fall for this look like idiots. Right? You really need to go out and test and see how far it is you can see, and not just hear something like, "Oh, you can see the Swiss Alps from Ireland, 700 miles, flat Earth."
Wales. Yeah.
Or, flat Earth.
Yeah, and that's what they do. Or they take you into their kitchen with ketchup bottle experiments and coins on tables. But what we're trying to point out here is what we want you to do is actually observe the things that you're looking at. Actually watch the sun rise and the sun set. Right? That's what we want people to do on the other side of the screen. Observe what is actually taking place. Just literally. So it's crazy at what level the wool is able to be pulled over people's eyes. Even myself and Jason and others, before we started, begging and seeking for truth, we all of a sudden started to see. We were given eyes to see things, not to sound this mystic or anything like that. Just I guess you can continue to your next talking point, brother. I'm just wanting people to just really just focus on what can you see.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a whole bunch of disinformation that came out early in Flat Earth where people were saying you could see this island. You had Jaron that was saying you could see Canagoo. You have all the people that were pushing the Beyond Horizons website, which is a fake flat earther disinformation site. Everything on it is a lie. Then Ronnie originally was talking about the infrared. So you have this whole group of people that say they can see. What is he up to? It's saying
Thousands of miles.
yeah, like 1,200 miles. 1,200 miles with his infrared he was able to see. And it's the same exact stuff as this, where they say that this out here is Switzerland from Wales.
Yeah, they've made some observations, and then they just take you to a non-reality.
Yeah, so let's see. The record for the longest distance ever seen is in the United States. All right. But just so everybody remembers, at the top of this mountain, which is 3,560 feet above the ground, you can see 73.1 miles to the horizon. Now, if there's something 73.1 miles away, like another mountain, all right, then you're going to be able to see it farther than that. And so what is the record for the farthest that we can see? It's 80 miles. So here we saw the 73 miles brought us, to this,
Which is far.
to this mountain
We're
range.
looking at, if those peaks were 73 miles, that's a great observation, I just want to say.
Yeah. But here's 80 miles. It's not that much difference, right? So if let's say this was a peak out here that you could actually see from that mountain that we were looking at in Wales,
Yeah, it's 1055 elevation.
this would be a record. This would be a record right here. Over in the United States, don't mind the globe, everybody. It's not real.
And that's the thing, because when people talk about how far they can see, is if we were living on a giant spinning sphere, you would see curvature everywhere. The higher you rose in altitude, the greater the curve would grow exponentially. Like, people have no idea. The debate isn't even happening here. We're just showing you what people are falsifying, because it is true. It's completely observably flat everywhere.
Yeah, so there's Mount Hood and Mount Adams. And Mount Adams it's not popping up. But basically, you can see, it's Mount Rainier and Mount Adams. So it's, from a distance of 80 miles, you can see Mount Adams, and that is the record. So it's right here. This is how I find the location. It's
Well, and if they were more honest, instead of being disingenuous saying that you can see 700 miles, they might have had it beat. There might have been a white cap in that shot that was over 80 miles. We could have been looking at the actual new record.
could have been. So this right here at 80 miles is our known record. And now if somebody can beat this, if we get a 85, if we get a 90 miler, we want to know. We're keeping track of this. But so far I can say with authority that nobody that's listening to this has ever seen more than 80 miles. Right?
Well,
From a ground-based observation.
yeah, when you're high up in the air from a plane, you get so high that what's the largest? Do the calculation there go to the calculator, please. I don't want to say something foolish.
Yeah,
So let's
go.
30,000 feet.
Well, 35 is typical, but let's go on the high end. Let's go 40,000 feet because it's rare that you'll be flying that high. So that is 245.2 miles.
Okay, so now when we talk about that, it's too bad we didn't have some footage from 40,000 feet up to show people, like, how clear do you think you could see a school bus at 245 miles away?
No, you can't. Oh, so right here, this is telling you that so somebody's talking about a distance record, the longest that they've ever seen.
700 miles they were proposing.
Yeah, unless if you're at 40,000 feet, you can't even be entertaining anything more than 245 miles.
And you know, the other thing that the shills are saying now is like, we've got to disprove or debunk. They want to go about debunking the magnetic declination, right? So if you're going to go ahead and try to debunk the distance to the horizon calculator, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to just waste your time. Go ahead and do it. I remember when Antonio did an observation of tracking the moon. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And, you know, it was great. I said, yes, this is a great thing to do. Unfortunately, they didn't do it when it was full. I think they did it on a new moon. They did some crazy things that were wrong. But what it showed is that timeanddate.com and MoonCalc were perfect. That they were all perfectly spot on at the times in the reported areas in the sky. So there are groups of sites that are giving you the truth. This distance to the horizon calculator is absolutely provable, testable, and repeatable by everyone. When you're at that height, you see that far. You can do it with a camera, and you can start shooting the observations all around you.
All right, so let's just go through some of the key ones. 6 foot tall. All right, 3 miles. This is the reason why when we looked at the Google answer, distance to the horizon, it's based on an observer at roughly 6 feet. So let's go through some major increments. Let's go 100 feet high. If you're 100 feet high, you can see 12.3 miles.
And so at that distance, right, everything just becomes falls beyond the vanishing point. So if it's higher, if you're looking at something 12.3 miles away and it's 12 miles in the air, you can see it further. So it's interesting how the two interactions take place. The Mall Angel video really outlines all of it.
So here at 1,800 feet, we are now at the tallest observation deck in the world, the Burj Khalifa. So at that distance,
They might have beat that by now. We haven't checked.
yeah, distance to the horizon, 52 miles. So you can actually see that, excuse me, there's a couple islands off the coast where the Burj Khalifa is. One's at like 55 miles and the other one's at 60 miles. And from that observation deck, guess what? You don't see those islands. So this is the tallest you can go on a building, but then you can go up to 29,000 feet. All right, if you go to a top of the tallest mountain, then your distance to the horizon is 208. Excuse me.
And so my furthest was from, in Alberta. I lived in Calgary and Red Deer. And from certain parts of the two cities, you could actually see the Rocky Mountains, right? And then we checked the distances, and then we started to figure out that it's like between 40 and I guess you said it was, how far was it? 80 miles? Adams to Rainier?
Adams to Rainier, Mount Adams is 80 miles.
80 miles. So that was the record because I didn't have any observations. Now, if you live in a place where there are mountains, you have an opportunity to actually beat the record. It's possible if you're on a mountain and you're looking at another mountain that's 90 miles away, you might be able to break the record by 5, 10. It's possible.
Exactly. And then the next way to do it is to get up in an airplane. All right, so just go on a typical flight at 35,000.
Yep.
And distance to the horizon is 229 miles. But if you go up there and you actually start trying to pay attention to what is the farthest thing that you can notice, it's not going to be anywhere near that. Not even close.
It gets gray and fuzzy. So you can see even in the picture on the screen right now, above where if maybe you have to scroll up, you can already start to see a milky layer covering the hills in the distance in this graphic here. And things that are further away become more and more milky like that. They become more despotized or fuzzy, kind of gray scaly. And these are actually proofs that you're in a virtual reality. It does this to save, RAM space, or how would you call it, Jason? The processor speed, right? It lowers the quality down, and we can only see so far. And you measured it was 10 miles, right? I had, I believe, About 25 miles, I was able to film the CN Tower, but I couldn't. I don't think I wasn't able to get any further measurements like that. You did the buildings here in Austin, right?
Well, I just did it from close to 10 miles, just as an example of what 10 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you zoom in from 10 miles, you can see that you get jello. You get at that point you're using the digital zoom, and once you've done that, it's getting pretty grainy at that point. So there's a reason why they never took zooms past the largest focal length lens ever created was a 5,000 millimeter prime, which means you can't change it. You can't zoom it in and out. Now the P1000's got 3,000 millimeters of focal length, and the thing is the cap for the 5,000 millimeter lens was about 50 miles, and so at 50 miles, it doesn't really matter how much more zoom you have because it just blurs out.
That's right. The P1000 does a great job. So all we can actually do is magnify what's in our field of view. So where that horizon is, the distance to the horizon, anything that's in front of that, and then to a certain degree, anything that's higher than that from beyond the vanishing line, you can still make out, depending on your elevation. And again, so what we're explaining is that you can only magnify which is in your circle of sight. That's why when NASA says that they can see to the outer reaches of the galaxy or the universe, they try to say it's absolute dog doo-doo. And you got flat earthers trying to, psyop with the exact same misinformation. That's how they do it. They take over the groups, and then the information that they spit out is false. That's how they destroy and ruin movements. Right? So the distance that you can see is not because you want to believe that the earth is flat. The earth is flat whether you believe it or not. The water right there in that basin, if you were to draw a line all around where that water is that we're looking at, that puddle right there in the mountain, and the water was to evaporate, there would be a perfectly level line in all directions all around that pond. I guarantee it. Actually, I bet my life on it. So exactly that alone can tell you if we're 70% water realm, the earth is definitely not a sphere, right? So what do? They put misinformation agents in front of the lead, and then I can see 1,000 miles, the earth is flat, and then it's debunked. Or we can prove that the sun is circling above our head, never rising or setting. Again, debunked. Every single thing. All you have to do is take a compass and actually watch the sun set in the wintertime. It rises from south of east, and it sets south of west. Completely going the wrong direction for the fake flat earth movement.
Just to make a point again here, we're looking the direction where they supposedly can see 700 miles, right? The thing is when you're up top here, you take a P1000 with its 3,000 millimeter focal length, or let's say you even had the Canon Prime at 5,000 millimeters. When you look out here at the tops of these hills, you can't see beyond this. All this does is it just grains out, and you can't see. You can't see London from here. You can't see across the English Channel. You can't see France. But you can't see Switzerland. You can't zoom this in and just see across the flat plane infinitely.
You have a vanishing point. You have a horizon that's all around you, the distance that you can see, and that's it. And it's crazy that we have to do this, Jason. It's crazy that we got to come out here and show people, hey, listen, all you can see is your distance to the vanishing point, your horizon. Jason's showing you the calculator. Go ahead and test it. Jason did. I did too. Jason did great teaching videos where he went and filmed towers from his positions and measured them in the sky and showed how far we can actually see. Boom, there's the horizon. It's almost like the moon landing photos. People can deduce that it was faked because of the angle of the hill they were staging the shot. There's no way the moon was that shallow, they were trying to say. But people can't put two and two together when investigating a reality on truly how far you can see. You just have to take a deep breath and then go and start actually seeing what is there.
So once again, watch out for psyops like this. Don't run around telling people, we can see the Swiss Alps from Wales, flat earth, flat earth. No. So we're going to be talking about this actual circle of sight here, because guess what? The sun's going to rise out at this horizon, whatever that distance is. This distance, roughly 70 miles, we're able to figure out. The sun's going to rise out there from this elevation, right? From this elevation. So let's go on and start taking a look at the circle of sight and sunrises. Well, these are sunsets. So each one of these videos that I pulled up are some new content, and what I did is I did a search just for P1000 sunset. I did not say sun behind the clouds, clouds behind the sun, or any of that kind of stuff. Just P1000 and sunset. So now that the camera's been out for a while, people have heard about it. There's enough people out there recording that one of the things that they like to do is film sunrise and sunset. And so a lot of these people may not even know what it is that they're filming, right? Well,
They got to see it, looking at the camera, looking at the screen, wanting to set up this perfect shot to have the sun, in the midst of clouds.
all right. So let's go ahead and see what it is that takes place when we're watching the sunset, and we'll just point out some stuff in some of these videos. So the fake flat earthers say that this sun right here is 3,000 miles high, and it's doing circles going away from you right now. But let's
It's set, right?
yeah, these are all
It's
sunsets.
coming towards you.
Yeah, this is all these are. This is a sunrise. Got
The
it.
sunrise. It's approaching you, they say. It's not
Yeah.
rising. They say that's just perspective.
We can kill.
Yeah, your
Kills.
background music's better.
Yeah. So let's pick out some of the observations that we get right here. We're zoomed in right now, but I think he's going to do some panning in and out. What I want you to pay attention to is how much of the sky is illuminated around the sun. All right, so we'll jump ahead here a little bit.
Does
No.
that not look like the sun is in between the clouds?
How would
in front of your eyes?
How would this be 3,000 miles high coming towards you right now? Right? We literally see it ascending.
Rising up into those clouds. Literally right there. Clouds in front, clouds behind, clouds
Oh.
being sliced.
And so this also shows, look at the way these shadows are being cast.
Upward shadows.
All right, so is the sun way out at the horizon out here right now? Well, no, it came right up behind this hill, and it's going up into the clouds that are right here in this person's circle of sight. So I don't know if he's going to zoom all the way out or not. Yeah, he does. All right, so where's the light? If this is 3,000 miles high, how come not all of this sky here is illuminated? All right, it was just the area right around the sun, and you can see it real close. You can see it in detail when he zooms in.
Yeah, he got a great shot.
He's got more here. Yeah, let's go ahead and throw some credit. This is Nate Edwards. It's got 146 views from 3 years ago. What?
List X6 in the comment section.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's got some great footage too. We've shared it.
Yeah, so he's got a total of 4 comments, 2 from other people. This one's a fake flat earther, right?
Yep.
And the nice thing is he did put it up in 4K. So you can actually go to his YouTube and watch it clearer than this, everyone.
Yeah, he got a beautiful sunrise. Everybody can witness this. That's what I said earlier. That's the amazing thing of what we're showing you. It's repeatable, observable by everyone, by every camera. Look, do you think that sun is 3,000 miles away, or is it right there in the midst of those clouds? Front, behind. This person doesn't even have it written down. They don't even know what they're looking at.
Watch it. It's gonna go all the way through this layer of clouds right here.
Up.
You see where these shadows are being cast. Now, we're not even talking about clouds behind the sun right now, but that will be coming up. Because there's
How's
some,
the light shining up like that.
right? Look at these shadows.
1,000 miles, or the globe earthers say it's 90. How many million miles?
93 million miles away.
3 now, huh? Yeah.
But yet the sun's right here casting shadows up and backwards.
Under those clouds.
Up and backwards. Understand that shadows always point 180 degrees from the sun. That's the crepuscular rays. We've got
Rainbows
more
as well.
more of these videos are going to be showing some crazy crepuscular rays and anti-crepuscular. Let's go ahead and jump through this a little bit. I think he had some. Here's. Alright. See, if the sun was 3,000 miles high or 93 million miles away, these would be straight lines coming through the clouds.
Now, those ones are super wide. You see how they're super wide because the sun is low. These crepuscular rays are happening low to the ground.
He's got some photos. So let's go through some of these other videos. This one,
Oh, this one's insane.
this one I love. There's some setup to it. Now the setup is just sort of hazy for a while. Starting to set behind. All right, let's watch from about here. We can see that the sun is starting to set into a hillside. And I just want to point out here that watch on the edges of the sun right here where these bright reflections are. So this is a ridge line that's, tree covered, and watch as this sunset.
Maybe zoom in a bit extra.
Yeah, I can.
He
Let's
did
give some
that.
credits. This is Watchers of the Heavens. He's got 38 views from 5 months ago.
It's new. Wow.
No comments. Let's go ahead and give this guy a thumbs up.
Yeah. Excellent job.
But I want to fill this up. We'll look at it closely. It's pretty close zoomed in.
Yeah, he does a good job.
So watch this edge here. Watch this edge here. So at this point here, you can really see how there's this hot glow off the sun right here on the edge of these trees. It's right here. These trees are totally in shade now. Completely in shade.
Yep.
All right, and then you've got the hot glow on the edge right here. Watch what happens as the sun sets here. You see how this is peeling through here. Watch, you're going to get some sort of bluish, purplish glow edge off of some of this. All right, now you can see this is the bright line, the shadow, these trees. You can see that the sun is right there. Now you've got a tree that's just in front here, but as this edge comes down, you're going to see the ones that are behind. Like, watch this area right here. You see how there were trees behind there?
Yeah, the light was casting through them the other direction.
Well, look at that. This is
Incredible footage.
Look at that. So the sun is literally setting into that spot right there. It's not 3,000 miles up. It's not 93 million miles away. You can see by the shadows all around here. So I thought this was a really cool video. Let's watch this disappear in. Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible, man, for sure. I love when people are getting that film and then the glow. The scriptures talk about having to crown the sun. And it gets a crown put back on it when it rises back up on the other side, on the eastern side.
Yeah, so all these trees over here in complete shadow.
Dark.
These trees over here, complete shadow. And right where the sun went into that crescent right there, there's still a little bit of glow. He's sort of zooming away. But look at this. There's, but there is
interesting.
There's none of that hot spot on any of the rest of this. You can see how the sun is shining through this valley right here, and how this is all in shade. This isn't a 3,000 mile high sun, everybody. Let's just watch that last clip again.
Great footage. Looks pretty local to me.
I'm just gonna slow this down a little. Soak this in.
Yeah, and ask yourself, how far away do you think that sun is?
Well, the viewer could actually check and see how far that ridge line was. So the photographer, he could say, all right, from where I was standing, that ridge line is 8 miles away, or whatever it was.
It's just crazy. The way that the light shines through the trees like that. Perfect shot. Good setup. Excellent job, watcher of the heavens, that you are doing.
Absolutely. So, let's see, does he have any context to this? He does. Let's go back and see about how far away we think that ridgeline is. So he's in a backyard. Those hills, mountains, whatever you want to call them. How far are people going to guess that is away from him?
I'm going to go with 10 miles, maybe. No, less than that. You wouldn't be able to make out the trees so well. It's got to be like 5 miles.
Could be. Yeah, so the context shot was back here from the backyard.
See the hills. Right. So if he's on the ground, those are 3. Well, it's okay. We discussed that a 6-foot observer can see to 3 miles to the vanishing point on the horizon. But the taller a mountain might be, so if that's 1,000 feet above where he is, then it could be further behind him. So I'm going to say that that's 6 miles tops.
I would say, yeah, 6, 7. That sounds about right. So it takes a person actually sitting down.
Video. How far was the hills that you were filming?
That'll be a great question. All right, well, let's go on. We got more. Check this one out.
Whoa, what's this?
This one.
Can somebody read the title? Is it on there? No, it's not on the screen.
This is Nikon Coolpix P1000 Sunset Cloud UK. All right.
Okay.
We were in the UK.
Flat Earth or clouds behind the sun or none of that stuff. It doesn't say anything like that, right?
No, 38 views, May 3rd, 2022. He's got 55 subs and no comments. I already gave.
He rides a bike, huh?
I already gave him a thumbs up. Everybody, check this out.
Yeah, he needs a thumbs up.
This one's absolutely amazing. So, a couple of things to pick out here is we're on top of a hill. Right? Clearly, you can see that right here is the edge of the hill, and he's looking out over some clouds. Right? The sun is actually below his eye level. So he's looking out. The clouds are below him. The sun is below him. All right, think about that.
Incredible vantage point. Incredible vantage point. This is very rare.
How can the sun be? And it does look right here like there is a horizon out here. I don't know if I'm not positive this is it, but that does look like it could be the horizon in the distance out here. So, looking down on the sun, how is that possible with the sun being 3,000 miles up? All right, how do you look down on it? This person is, watch.
Wow.
This is some clouds behind the sun right here. All right.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, this person doesn't even know what they're filming. There's no allusion or no comment or reference to what he's filming.
See that? That was all behind it. Now, I do have motion open where we can apply some filters to some of this stuff if we want to look at it closer. But let's go ahead and watch this. It in its natural state right here. This is exceptional. This is some of the better clouds behind the sun I've seen, because we're gonna get the splitting of a cloud coming up, and that's when you split the cloud, that really shows you that it's right there.
Yeah, that little cloud is right in your circle
So
of
watch
sight.
watch the split happen here. Oop, little tuft went across. Oh, and now it's being cut. Now it's being cut.
Not as much as going behind.
Watch it being cut. Watch this one come together.
On the other side, boom, coming out from
let's-
behind.
Let's go ahead and
Behind the sun, everybody.
remember this one traveling across here.
Welcome
Watch.
to virtual reality.
Watch this one here. When it gets over to this side, it's going to meet up with its other half.
And it's
Let's go ahead.
behind the sun.
Let's watch
Yeah, the
this.
scriptures do talk about the sun being cloaked with clouds. Yes, constantly. Christ will come back cloaked in clouds. The sun in our sky actually too is also cloaked in the cloud.
Do you see how it just...
Yeah, let's go back, click. Go back and show everybody again how that cloud came out from behind the sun. Everybody, just look at it with us, okay? We just want you to open your eyes and just see what's there. This person doesn't even know what they're seeing either.
So on this side of the sun right now, it's cutting this cloud. This one's going across the front, and watch it come back together over here. All right, that's
There. How could anyone miss that?
undeniable.
Cloud came from behind the sun. There's a bunch of them coming from behind the sun. Okay, we've been showing this, and it's
Well-
beautiful the way that the creator created this.
And this whole background back here is clearly behind the sun. And remember where we are. We're above the sun right now. Right? This is below us. Check out the sky around here. The shadows are going to tell you that the sun is below. Watch,
Clouds behind the sun. Wow.
watch the way all this comes back together now.
So if anybody out there is trying to tell you that this is an illusion or not real, I would strongly suggest that you stay away from anybody like that are actively fighting against observable, repeatable evidences.
Look at, it's such a thick, dark cloud. You can really see
Coming
it.
out from behind the sun.
You can really see it coming back
Zoom in a bit
together.
more. Can you magnify?
This is all
Magnify.
super zoomed.
You're maxed?
Yeah.
You were maxed out? Okay. Good job. It's good.
So here's that dark cloud coming across. Watch.
The front of the cloud.
I'm gonna slow it down.
There, it's already coming out from behind the sun. Everybody,
It is.
Look.
Let's
Just-
go
I
ahead.
really want people to just understand what's taking place and what you're witnessing. Okay, it's
This is
it's crazy. Jason and I, when we searched about for the truth, we just had an open eye and open eyes, and we asked for the truth. And this is the stuff that started showing up. Now we're not faking this. This is a random video from a random person who bought a P1000. Okay, this person is not connected to the flat Earth in any way. This is just what you can observe out there. We have done it ourselves.
all right. Watch this come together.
It's incredible. This one, wow.
It's so thick and obvious.
Undebunkable. This one is the best. Mikal, Flat Earth Photography. Mikal, he actually had the other greatest cloud from behind the sun footage is shared on our channels, but this one here actually, I think, got him. It's a newer technology and a larger cloud coming from behind. It came from behind the sun, everybody.
Cutting this one now. This one's coming back together over here.
We discussed the vanishing point is only 6 miles for an observer on the ground, but he's elevated, obviously. Again, we don't know how elevated this is.
Yeah, but so my guess before that this was the horizon down here. It really does look like it's the horizon off in the distance right here. The circle of the sun. It's there's your horizon.
Look at the cloud behind the sun there. Wow.
But that was
And then it cut it at the gravy spot. Oh,
yeah. It's just a minute 52 long.
Yeah, that's what happens when you capture this. It's an awe-inspiring when you actually see the sun throughout the clouds like this.
Let's go ahead and take a peek at this in motion quick. So
Motion 5.
I should have switched to this one first. All right, so what I've got here in motion is a couple of filters that I can turn on and off, and I can play with the contrast and stuff like that. So let me show you here. If I turn all these things back to natural. All right, so this is the footage that we were just watching, untouched. Right? This is exactly the same.
There's the cloud splitter.
Yep. But now let's go ahead and put some effects on it. So contrast helps a lot. So that contrast like that, you know, we can adjust it down, up. So the higher contrast is good. Let's see here. I only need one of them. So brightness. This brightness, what it'll do is it'll turn down the whites a little bit by doing that. But this color emboss, this right here, so the relief, this right here is natural, and then the relief is it takes the hard edges and it sort of separates them three-dimensionally. So you get this crisp edge on it, and you can make it more excessive, but then it starts to look like bad 3D. And then there's other things like edges. So the edges right here, just as a filter by itself, it highlights the edges like this. So if you do sort of a mix of these, where you get some of the pop of the edges, and then you've got you get some of this stereo 3D relief effect. When you get into some of these areas, it just crisps things up. So if you were in denial before, it just sort of helps, where now you can see right where the hard edge of the disk of the sun is.
If you zoom in, you can literally see the edges going behind it with the emboss filter. It's showing you the split perfectly.
And it'll come back together here.
It separates out the field of view through depth, through the edges. That's what it's doing.
You see how this was clearly behind the disk. If I just rewind it a little bit.
I think we might need to magnify.
All right, let me bring us in a little bit closer here.
That's perfect. Everybody can really see now.
All right, so you can see this crisp edge right here with some of the filters that we put on here. And you can see that something's coming out from, it's a cloud coming out from around the back edge of the sun.
The sun.
And this right here is where that cloud melds back together into one. So each one of these are clouds in front of the sun. And where you have this solid disk and clouds behind it, those are clouds behind the sun.
Yeah, you can see a line too. You see the line right there? That's completely going behind it. The line in the center of the sun. You can see it going right through the both sides. Go back a bit, a few frames. It's another excellent proof of something behind the sun, the whole line when you can really see the top where it's also there. You see the line?
Yeah.
From left to right, clearly going behind the sun.
Yeah. This is a shadow line of clouds in the distance.
It's not being obscured by the brightness of the sun because look, we've got that little cloud right here on the left, right?
Mm-hmm.
If all
Yeah, so we did lose power and now it's hailing. So we're going to see how this goes tonight.
incredible, the crazy weather. You know, we're enjoying the podcast. We were having some great stuff on the screen out in the floor. I'm sure this is just going to pass off.
Wonder if everybody can hear the hail.
I don't think they can miss it.
Well, Zoom's pretty amazing.
There's been some crazy storms. This was quite the year when we had so many tornadoes, even in the winter time, right? We've had some crazy stuff. I'm pretty sure we're live.
Yeah, we are live again.
That's the first time we've ever had.
Yeah, this is Loud Hail. What are we gonna do, brother?
I don't think it's Gorilla Hail. Hey, do you want me to check while should we end the stream or what? Let me check this. I don't think it's that bad. It's about to go by.
It's nothing, right?
Go to a song break and it should be over by the end.
All right, let's go to a song break.
Just above us right now.
Okay.
It's not even.
All right, we're gonna take a. So I heard that Ronnie is quiet. Let's hear you again.
Check 1, 2. Are you not able to hear me? Maybe they're just trying to censor out the hail.
You're quieter now. Let me check something.
Maybe they're just trying to censor. No, I'm loud. I'm coming in hot.
You can see? Yeah, I'm coming in loud, but you're not. Let me turn my mic down.
I should be okay. Oh, maybe
It's a little quiet.
I can see it going up.
There it goes.
Up. I don't want to go much louder. It'll be way too loud. But anyways, the
All
hail is
right.
passing. It was passing by us.
Let's go ahead and take a song break, and hopefully it'll be done.
Let's go.
Drinking, I'm putting myself away. There's 1,000 faces that wanna talk about everything. Oh, but the truth is, I'm out of my mind again. If you catch me staring out the window, I'm pretending I can fly to be with you. Believe me, there's nothing that I wanna do. Not having baby breaks me. I'm not gonna drown this time. I'm coming up for
And we are back, and it is still hailing, but lightly. So we were going through P1000 footage of the local sun, and we were just looking at some amazing stuff, and we were looking at it in motion too, where we could apply some filters. We're not going to be able to do the motion stuff anymore because that project wasn't saved, and when the power went out, it's a goner. So we'll just be looking at some of these videos that we have here. But this is another one that came up from Nate Edwards. This one's 80 views 1 month ago. This one's got 13 comments. So it's got here's a fake flat earther probably. Alright, so you got flat earthers noticing stuff about this footage when, you know, the people putting it up, they're not even saying, you know, clouds behind the sun and that kind of stuff. To them, this is just zooming in on the sun this is a sunset now. So let's take a look at this one. I think I'll turn this audio off. Check this one out. Now remember, if we're in Australia, we're going to be watching the sun hook the other direction. All right, it hooks to the south. It doesn't hook to the northeast like it would in a circling sun model.
It goes the other way. Remember when we taught that to Jaron? He tried to get people to film the sun's light, though still continuing to travel north, and he wasn't able to find any evidence of it.
All right, so here's some crepuscular rays shining in all directions here, and once again, this is in a local circle of sight. You know, the camera's zoomed in a little bit, but how far away are these clouds here? All right, are they more than 10 miles? Unlikely. And so we have the sun in this group of clouds here. It's not further. All right, if this was a circling sun 3,000 miles high, this would be just, you know, thousands of miles down the road already. But the light's right here. It's not at the horizon. Right? That you got to understand the way the light would be working. If this was coming from 3,000 miles, the sun would be illuminating all of this around here, not just this local area. So it changes that color like that a little bit. That's auto exposure. It's compensating, trying to keep a good balance in the scene, so that your lights aren't too light and your darks aren't too dark. Oh wow, he's got a sun coming out the bottom of this. Oh, right away you can see it's cutting through. What's it going to cut over here? Oh, this one's in front. Remember, this is coming down. What's it going to go through down in this area?
Yeah, there's some clouds in the distance.
What's going to happen with this bank? Oh.
It's running alongside a demarbling it.
That one's still in front a little bit.
Still in front. Well, there's one coming on the
Starting
left,
to cut
puffy
it.
one. Look at that puffy one coming. I got a contender.
What's this one going to do?
That's what I'm talking about, the puffy one on the top left. And am I coming in? I should be coming in, Claire. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it went behind.
Oh, it cut it.
It split it. Only a little piece is in front of the sun right now, that cloud that I said.
Wait.
Watch. Look, you just see a little tiny corner of it.
Watch for it to come around.
Come on, buddy. Keep the shot right here. Oh, no. Why did he go so dark?
That's the auto exposure. So this is another interesting thing. So we've got a tower off at a long distance here. And the claim that people will make is that what we're observing here is the sun is so bright that it's just shining through thicker layers and thinner layers of clouds, but it's super bright and it's overexposing. So notice that we have this tower here in front of the sun where it's not overexposed. Now there will be times where there's something closer in the distance, let's say a bird's flying by nearby, right? That might be overexposed because focal length matters. The fact that we're focused out at this distance where this tower is in focus, now the auto exposure, all that, we can actually see the tower in front of the sun. Now, if this tower was much closer, then we would get a blown out, washed out effect where it would look like, the sun's in front of it, even though it's close. So it really, the depth of things in a shot, a bird flying by close is going to get blown out, but a bird flying by way far in the distance will fly across the face of the sun and you can clearly see it. It won't be blown out. So just pay attention to things like that. Because remember, Red's Rhetoric will say something like, remember he had the rocket launch and he said, oh, that means that because some power cables were
behind the rocket.
Yeah.
It's just retarded nonsense. Focal length does absolutely matter. You can't unzoom clouds from behind the sun.
So is this a sun that's 3,000 miles up circling, or is this a sun that's going down to the ground? It's below the clouds here, right? We watched it descend through the clouds.
There's a large cloud splitting the top of the sun now, but his exposure is too dark. Lost it. He did have a gravy, and he changed the settings, and it went too dark.
Well,
The clouds behind.
this happens. So when he zooms back out, watch what the auto exposure.
In the auto.
Yeah.
That's why you taught me to do it manually.
Yeah, so these are the clouds that were back there. There's another one. Let's take a look at this one. This is
Got a clouds behind the sun tag.
Okay. Vesna Sennik, 1.1 thousand subs. It's gotten 8.7 thousand views 4 years ago, and it says clouds behind the sun.
So he sees it. Or she.
Yeah, something.
Vesna.
So what do we got here?
It's got some interesting angles for the light rays.
So we're nearly horizontal with the sun here on this setup. So this is being filmed with some elevation.
A clear view. She gets the power lines.
She's showing the edge of that cloud. What else has she got?
You're gonna have to come through the clouds.
I like the shadows here.
She's on quite a high hill.
Yeah. Alright. So I think the best part here is, gonna be as the sun sets into this. Ask yourself, is the sun 3,000 miles high, 93 million miles away? Or is it in this group of clouds right there in that observer's circle of sight?
You need a tripod for that spot.
Alright, watch it.
Fortunately, she still got it. It's still there.
It's gonna set in. Right there. That's where last bit of it was above the cloud. Now it's in the cloud. Not the ultimate, but something. What do we got here? We've got super zoom, Nikon P1000, no filter. So this is just a camera person. This isn't about clouds behind the sun. Let's see what they got. So here's our context shot. You can see got some buildings in front of us. It's our standard distance to the horizon here. A lot of people witness something like this. But
That's a nice. Looks like a sun in the midst of those clouds. I mean, that's what I see.
totally. Watch this edge here as the sun's going in. You can see the backside of this cloud being revealed. See this backside of the cloud being revealed as the sun's dropping. I need a tripod.
But I mean, this is how you can know that something's true. The evidence is abundant. It's everywhere. People are just filming it. They don't even know that they're filming it. That's was something that is clearly, objectively, observably truth, right? Nobody can take that from Jason or I. We stand upon the foundation of we can see. Right? You could tell me like it was the joke that Powerland used to say that he was looking across the Bering Strait and he was saying, "I can see Russia right there. It's 60 miles." And they were saying, "No, that's not Russia. I can see the trees. Like, I can see that the clouds are behind the sun. You can't make me unsee it. If you tell me that the sky is blue and I see that it's blue, you can't make me believe that it's green."
Yeah, watch.
The sky is blue.
Watch this top edge as this is coming down through here. It's very clear, very obvious. It's just ascended through that bank of clouds right there at the horizon. And guess what? It's going to set right down into the ground.
That's what we observe.
Into the ground. So we got one more of these sort of clouds behind the sun thing, but it's this guy, Truth. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember what he...
You got to close that other tab. Is your music? Oh no, that's your background. Sorry.
Yeah. This guy films a lot. It's like almost every day. And so if you go to his channel, good luck finding it with a name like Truth. But so you do a search on his channel for the sun and you get a whole bunch of these. And he says mysterious sun, right?
Mysterious.
So what's mysterious about the sun?
What? That it's a supernatural luminary. It rules the heavens.
Because remember, this is a guy that'll constantly tell you that the sun is coming towards you as it's rising and that it's going away from you as it's setting. Yet he sits here and he films this and he knows that he's got...
We see the clouds behind the sun.
Yeah.
It's obvious in this one.
And it's rising up through this layer of clouds right there in his circle of sight.
That's not 3,000 miles up.
All right. Look at what it's illuminating. Just that area. See, the sun doesn't burn up the clouds. It's not a ball of hydrogen burning. It's a light. We're in a virtual reality. I can show you with some modeling how this all works in just a little bit. But yeah, there's clear clouds behind the sun. This sun went up through that layer of clouds right there. He catches this all the time. He's got it in so many of his streams. I mean, there you go. So let's take a quick look at the motion of the sun here. We keep on saying it's not circling. Let's take a look at this. This is a video I just came across that shows a circle of sight. All right, now they've got it really tight around this house, but this yellow right here is the path of the sun when it's above ground, and then they have it sort of shaded out when it goes below ground. But this is all set up with shadows on the house and the car and the street lights and all this kind of stuff. And so let's go ahead and watch this. Right there, sun came up and it's showing the path of the shadows, all right, based on the position of the sun. And they're swiveling around this animation, so you get to see this from all different sides. They're looking at this from the north. Here's your south right here. So the sunrise, the east is over here, west is over here. So the sun's setting right now, and then guess what's going to happen? Boom. Set into the ground, and now it's dark. Now they're going to give the false heliocentric explanation, but then the rest of this is what we witness, everybody. Go outside, compass, sextant, and watch the path of the sun. And so this is an equinox they're showing right now. All right, it's set to 90 and 270. And they're going to show the different seasons. Oh, winter solstice here, right? Now it's at its lowest part of the circle. All right, it's only above the horizon here. And those are your hours of daylight. This is your shorter day during the winter. Now they're moving it back towards the equinox. All right, here's a 12-hour day. And then they're gonna move this to the summer solstice.
So people understand that this is actually what we can measure, what's on the screen right now. This is what's observable for every single person in the reality.
This is the path of the sun around the observer. It's not up horizontal doing circles. It's going around you like this. Right? You can see it by the shadows. Right. Those are your shortest shadows, and here's each one of them. All right, just take a look here. And that right there, let's just leave it on a frame like this. This is exactly what we've been sharing with people with this right here. This is the Andrew Marsh site. And yeah, look, we're right in England by that Snow Mountain. So here's that path. Put this at the different seasons here. Yeah, when the power went out, I gotta reset everything.
While you're doing that, I can just pull up, there's so many scriptures, right? In Ecclesiastes 1:5, it says, the sun rises and the sun sets. It hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows southward, then turns upward, round and round. It swirls, ever returning on its course. So there's so many scriptures that talk about the sun rising, right? And setting. So if anyone tries to psyop you and say that flat earthers have to believe that the sun is 3,000 miles up, Hosea 6:3 says, so let us press on to know Yahweh. As surely as the sun rises, he will appear. He will come to us like the rain, like the spring showers that water the earth. So, there's so many. I could probably read 10 more while Jason's setting up here, but you're ready to go now.
Yeah, I'm set up. So this is our day on the equinox, just like that graphic we were just watching right here. So here's our sunrise in the east. And this is a location in Wales, right? So there's our path. There's our 12-hour day. There's that circle. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the winter solstice. All right, there's our path like we had just seen in that animation. Here's that short day because it's the lowest circle. All right. We come back to the equinox. Right, There's our equinox, and we go to our summer solstice, and this is what we're going to be coming up to soon, everybody. This is our longest day of the year. Then the days will start getting shorter, but the reason why it's the longest is because it's this top circle here, and this top circle has the most amount of circle above the horizon, and this is the arc. Like when you watch the sunrise from down in this location, you look with your compass. When the sun rises, it's coming up from the north of east like this. It's coming up, circling around the observer. All these shadows, everything matches out. Remember, this is to the 100th of a second, 100th of a degree per second. Right, and there's the path of the sun going right back down into the ground. We are watching the footage of what this looks like when the sun's setting down into the ground. Now, the next segment that we're going to be going through is the circling sun, because here's the issue. I'm going to go farther and farther north. All right, so I'm going farther and farther north. Look at what's happening here as I go. I'm going up to the top of Norway here. Now all of a sudden this diagram is showing a circling, never setting sun. Alright, if I hit play on the sun, now what we have is a sun that stays above the horizon 24 hours a day and never sets. The problem with that is it's never been witnessed. Alright, it's never been witnessed. Now, in the heliocentric model, it's like 51 days that both the north and the south are required to have this. Let me show you here. So we're up north. It's supposed to get to the point like this, where if you're far enough north for 51 days, it's going around in circles like this. Watch what happens as I change the date slider. So it's supposed to be going around in circles like this, horizontal, all the way until the equinox. Alright, so do you see a place on Earth where the sun just goes round and round and round and round in circles like this?
No.
Until the equinox, and then there's no sun until the next equinox. All right.
So we've been down this road back again for many, many years, going through the CGI. At first, the flat earthers like Eric Dubay and Rob Skiba were showing you a sun that rose and then came down to the horizon, but then rose again. It was doing loops through the sky. And then we got more CGI further on down the road, where we started to get some in the south, some in the north. Everybody was having cuts and clips.
So here we are in Antarctica, and now, all right, it's the same thing. The sun's supposed to just go around in circles. This is heliocentrism now. Sun's supposed to just go around in circles like this, never setting, never going down until you get
footage of this everywhere.
Until you get
hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of videos of people just, wow, look at filming the sun circling above their heads. Like,
yeah,
for dates. 4 months. 4 months.
4 months. Yeah, and then no sun for the next 6 months.
And then complete darkness.
Yeah, so that brings up our last topic here, where I had somebody recently, this guy Flat 0971 came and asked, how does 24-hour sun work on your map? And my response was, the 24-hour sun above the horizon is a PSYOP. The heliocentric model requires it for 51 days in the north and south. The Freemason, New World Order, pressurized pizza dome, false dichotomy, fake flat earthers have an above the horizon circling sun 365 days a year. The problem is that neither in the south nor in the north is there ever a single day that the sun stays above the horizon for 24 hours. If you think you have seen it, it is because you have looked at one of the 10 or fewer CGI or edited footages that attempt to fake it. Note, there is plenty of evidence of a midnight sun. Sunsets after midnight. There's just not any real footage of a sun that circles above the horizon and never sets. So his response was, so denial, okay. And my response was, yes, denial. We've already covered the only videos that supposedly show a 24-hour circling above the horizon sun in both the north and the south. The fake flat earthers deny the ones from the south and support the ones from the north. Go ahead and send me a link to a video you think is real. Every one of them has a glaring CGI or stitched and masked video. The fake flat earther D. Marble even went to the Arctic Circle in Alaska to supposedly prove that the sun never sets, and we caught him showing his footage of the sun setting in a live stream. And then afterwards, he put out a CGI version of his footage faking the sun not setting. We covered all of it as it happened. Here's a time-stamped link. The truth is that you are the one that is actually in denial if you believe that the sun circles above the horizon for 24 hours or more anywhere on Earth. So this is a study that Ronnie and I have done many times, and you can do it yourself, everybody. Check to see what footage there is of a never setting sun. And like my comments said, so many of them you're going to see are CGI or faked footage. So just do 24 hours sun above the horizon, and you'll see a bunch of videos of the sun up at midnight. That's real easy. You go to a place like Iceland and it happens no problem. Finland's got it, Norway, all those northern places. You can have a midnight sun. Alaska. So Arctic midnight sun. This is a 24-hour time lapse, right? It's not, well, this is one of the CGIs. So I'll show you what people are going to say. Oh, this is proof. So what, this is Arctic. This is supposed to be somewhere in the north. We're supposed to be on top of the mountain in the middle of nowhere, and we're going to see the sun going around and never setting. Now, notice when you're looking at CGI that it doesn't look like a real sun. All right, so pay attention to this. The way this is running horizontal to the ground, not moving in or out. So is there any possibility of this land being directly in the center? No, there's no possibility. Remember, the center of the Arctic is, let's go, oh, that went crazy. The center of the Arctic is out here in the middle of water. So this footage right here can't be in the center, which means that the sun can't be doing a perfect circle around the camera. It would have to be doing a big wobble where it's going from high to low at the horizon. But nope, this one's tracking just right across in the middle. Staying equidistant, just like we're out in the center of the Arctic, if that was real. All right. You get all this blurry glow. You can't see a sun at all. Sure, if we looked at this, we're probably going to run into mass, and yeah,
That's not real.
Yeah, that sun did not just circle all the way around. This is somewhere on
the only proof. This is pretty much one of the only videos.
Yeah. That's the main one. You can scroll through. There's the Eric DeBay one, right?
Yeah, this one has the sun doing, huge parabolic curves.
No, this is the one that when you play it often
You get a strike, yeah.
a strike. So we just show a few clips, but everybody that's watched an Eric DeBay video has seen this one. And this is bad CGI. Just look at how blurry this footage really is. It's this is artwork. This is artwork.
Yeah, the early modeling programs were being used.
Yeah.
Real Engine.
Yeah, seeing the sun circle around you this tight and close up overhead.
Yeah,
Remember, there's no land.
huge parabolic curves.
There's no land there, right?
Doing some big dips. That's the other proof, right? This is the only evidence for the up all day sun.
That's it. This isn't real. That's CGI. Let's see what else we got here. This is an actual midnight sun, like
That.
does it say? It's zoomed in, so it's either like a P900, P1000, something like that. And but it is super far north where they do get a midnight sun. This is a far north place in Norway. So what you'll see is it has this really long slope to the way it goes down. Let's get a quick visualization. We'll go to, we're up north in Norway here. And so it'd be something, this is the type of path that we're talking about. A really long slope. Let's take it out towards the summer solstice. Alright, so what we're looking at in this video is really like this path right now. The sun coming down at this long slight angle right here. Let's take a look. So it should be sliding at a long slight angle like this. So this is 11 p.m. There's that long slight angle coming down. See how low that angle is?
It's a shallow path.
Right. And it's starting to actually shrink up from the bottom here as it's getting down near the horizon. It's really distorting. So this is right around midnight, it's saying 11:45 p.m. And then there's this cut. Alright, so this is now after midnight. Got it sliding past this hill over here. It's a beautiful shot. A sun-capped mountain like this. I mean, it's gonna be like the perfect little snow cone. And then it slides past. Alright. We're almost 1 o'clock. This doesn't make sense. Due north. It's going down, going down. Still that low slight angle. We're at 1:15.
The sun vanished.
Yeah, and then the sun vanishes here. And it sets. Alright. That's the end. So we're not seeing the proof of a circling sun. And like my comment mentioned, we covered this, that D. Marble went to the Arctic. He went up to Alaska and went into the Arctic. He was going to prove that the sun never sets, that the sun circles above the horizon. And we covered it. So this is... show this here. This was streamed live August 1st, 2018. This is Beyond Flat Earth calls out D. Marble exposed and DITRH exposed faking evidence. And so here's the evidence. We've got the live stream that D. Marble had done showing the sunset, and then also we have the footage where he faked the sun not setting. So let's go ahead and check this out here.
Now, here, let me actually make this a little bit bigger. You're saying maybe that it's just glare from the horizon. No, actually, when you blow it up, you can see that the sun is still visible on the horizon. So, there is that. Let me shrink that back. Back to its original place. Okay, so... might make another video about that at some point.
All right.
Anyway,
so this is the section coming up
so,
right here.
yeah,
Everybody,
you can still
pay
see the
attention.
sun, just the same.
He's gonna let
Now
this video
let's
play.
Fast, pull this thing forward. Sun continues moving over the horizon.
So the sun's not setting here. Watch
That's
it.
the old me.
Watch it run
And
right
came
up the
that
edge of that hill.
perfectly. And let me see.
All right. Let's go back here. Want you to see this a couple of times.
Forward. Sun continues moving
Yeah,
over the
slow it
horizon.
down. You can actually, if you slow it down, you can actually see the jumps. Where
That's
you
the old me.
see it's sloppy editing.
The old Ronnie.
Right down to 2.5.
Okay.
Just for a second, you're going to see the jumps, right?
The stitching.
There was.
There's a bunch. Right.
And came
So this was the video that he put out saying that the sun never set.
perfectly.
Camera moves doesn't really look like the right aspect here.
Okay, but hopefully everybody saw it roll up the edge of that hill right there. All right. So this right here is from, this was streamed June 24th, 2018. This hangout is to do a live presentation of my findings from my trip to Alaska. And so he's got this hangout here. Now let's watch as he plays his footage right from this section here.
Afternoon, something like that. You can see the clouds moving in different directions. I did not turn the sound off on this one. All right, continuing on. And there's that tree line I told you about. All right. Continue on around there. All right. I had to adjust the camera a few times while I was following the sun around because it didn't go in a perfect circle where I could just leave the
What
camera at
happened
one
there?
angle. Then I had to straighten it out right here.
Where
You can see it never went dark.
See, he says it never went dark.
Never went dark.
Listen,
Like right here, it's like 3:15 in the morning. Okay, still early in the morning. It never got dark. It was like eternal dusk as far as the
Eternal
sun went
dusk.
out in the distance. And then around 5 a.m., the sun peaks back around this hill
All
here.
right. Do you see anything different here? Let's watch this
Yeah.
one again.
Yes, I see a lot different. Yes, the sun
I was
sets.
freaking out.
Around there.
Les, there it goes.
All right.
Take it
I
out.
had to adjust the camera a few times while I was following the sun around because it didn't go in a
We
perfect.
got him hands
perfect
down
circle where I
here.
could just leave the camera at one angle.
Done.
Then I had to
Sunset.
straighten it out right here.
This is
So you
all
can
night.
see it never went
I was
dark.
excited.
Like
huh?
right here.
Sorry, everybody. I was excited.
No, that's. I mean, he shared this footage. He was up there to watch the sun never set, and he
Solstice, right?
yeah, he showed it set, and then he said it came back out at 5 o'clock.
In June. This is almost what is it? 4-year anniversary of this when he did this.
So this is the actual footage, but then we'll see. He doctored it, and he made it never set. He
He
turned.
had it rise along the edge of that hill right there. That he just showed you the live footage right there. That was the unedited clip, right?
Yeah.
Everybody could see it.
Watch, we'll show the doctored footage again here.
Like right here, it's like 3:15 in the morning. Okay, still early.
Yeah.
3:15.
Yeah. So that's. Is that damning, brother? Is that
Yes!
super damning?
Hello. He's
Super damning.
like zoomed in, cropped in. Go back to the one he's playing now. So it's way zoomed in on, right? He's cropped it and he's edited it. This is a different. This is
As
totally different. Same spot though.
no,
You got it slowed down.
Oh, yeah.
thing.
This was so much fun.
It was great. It still is great.
Blows my mind.
Sun continues.
D Marble has
moving over the
vampire
horizon.
fangs.
See the
He said he
clip.
filed his teeth down.
Watch this. We just watched his
Clip,
live
clip.
stream.
Flip,
And
Here it
flip.
goes.
came up that hill. Perfect.
Oh.
Come on, man. It did that one day and then the next day it didn't do that? Is that what he's going to say?
Where's the good
Didn't
stuff?
rise again at 5 a.m.
Come on, man. Come on.
All right. So this whole thing that he was trying to do in the beginning, where he's taking clips, where
Yeah, that's the main thing that he went up there to record it, and then he ended up recording it setting, and then he had to CGI it, doctor it to make it look like it didn't set.
You know what I see here is D Marble threw us a Robbie Parker, right? For anybody that's a veteran of the truth and community, you know, Robbie Parker had that clip where he was laughing, getting into character, right? And so you got to wonder, how did that clip get released from the news? I think it was a CNN clip. So D Marble literally released the clip of its setting, right, to show everybody, yeah, I went here to document it. This is what I saw. But then later, he did another live stream where he showed this, right? I believe Dick Hummer was on that one, and maybe IPS. I can't be sure.
Yeah.
That's who I think that he had on the other live stream. There they are at the bottom.
Yep.
I mean, it was. I don't know who paid for D Marble, if he funded it himself to come here, and you know, you can see he picked the spot specifically because it had the hill in the horizon. It's sort of like the moon shot, right? You get the moon, you get the horizon really close to the edge of a hill. You realize that that's not the end.
Let me turn off that. I just want to keep. I want to just keep showing. There it's set behind the hill,
Set.
and then the sky totally changed to just like a. Didn't go dark. All right, it stayed light like this, but you see how the color disappeared. We have this yellow and orange sunset, and then that glow goes away. The sun is down.
So what we're seeing there really is so the light and the darkness was created before the sun and the moon.
Right.
Right. So as the sun set, you saw the light here. This was what was created first.
Yeah.
Great
And
shot of it.
then it was like,
Rises again right there, the way that it would on the angle on the other side of north.
and so once again, that is this period right there. So the sun goes down, right? And this is after midnight. And we'll go, sun's up after midnight. It's down. And then it's gonna come up early again in the morning.
Rise again.
That's the path, everybody.
And if you look into the chat, I put a bunch of scriptures in there that talk specifically about the sun rising and setting, and also the sun stopping. So the sun stood still and the moon stopped until the nation took vengeance upon its enemies. So right there, we're getting scriptures that are telling us it's the sun and the moon that's moving, not the earth, and they're rising and setting, right? And there's way more. This is just a small amount to add to our proof, of what we're saying. And the clouds too. You can do a study on the sun and the clouds and how important being cloaked in clouds is. I mean, everybody who's read the scripture should understand what I'm saying. But just on a physical level, what we're showing, the sun always does rise and set. We've never, all the footage that we're looking at, really, there would be evidence, abundant evidence everywhere. If there's 4 months of the year in the north that the sun never sets, there'd be like 4, 5, 6 day live streams of the sun just circling. You'd have it everywhere. Like we've been showing the clouds behind the sun, hundreds of videos, people that don't even know they're filming that. But yet we don't have any evidence of the up all day, 4 month or 51 straight day sun. We don't have any proof of it.
So this program really has it. Like when the sun is above the horizon, you get your nice light blue sky here. And watch the change here. When this goes around and goes below ground, watch the way the sky changes. We're going to stop this here. So it didn't go totally dark. If I were to go to a place farther south, you can see that as we tilt that down farther and farther, this is where you get your black sky, right? But when it's like this, it doesn't go dark, even though the sun does go below the horizon. That's the reason why we have midnight suns in Iceland and places like that. Norway.
And yeah, this is what you can observe and witness for your own self.
All right, well, I think we got through our tabs, even though we got blasted by a lightning strike, and then we had a hailstorm and all that.
It was crazy, yeah. It was a fun live stream, We got to hear the crackling thunders and lightnings from the heavens above while we were talking about the luminaries and the things that are in the heavens above. It actually spoke up and rained down hail upon us. It was fun. And like I said, everybody, you be your own witnesser. Go out and observe things. See how far you can see. I remember when you questioned me, how far do you think the clouds are? I was like, wow, you stumbled me. And I'm humble enough to say that I thought they were farther away than they actually are. But when you start looking, the clouds are a few miles away. They're super close. And so is the sun and the moon and all the other luminaries.
Well, absolutely. It's been great. So that's it. If somebody tells you that you can see more than 80 miles, be skeptical. All right, you got to have some really, really great conditions to be able to see something that's 80 miles away. It's got to be something high. You got to have a good elevation. It's got to be super clear out, all that stuff. And you're probably going to need some zoom lens too.
Yep.
So
good conditions, but get out there and try to find it. Film the sunrises and the sunsets, with about 10 degrees above the horizon. You'll get the clouds behind the sun. Go and witness it for yourself, please. We've got tons of people who have gone out and done the same thing and verified it.
Yep. So just remember, everybody, sun is not circling horizontal above your head. Most places, all right, we're like 30 degrees north to 45 degrees north. This is what most people experience, is the sun being tilted at a plane like this or like this. That's it.
Correct. Well, I thought this was fun, and I hope to do it again. I like building up the streams, keeping them running. I enjoy sharing the truth. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in the chat. I hope we were able to edify you and show you some truth that you might not have seen before.
Yeah, make sure, if you've missed it, everybody, catch this morning's Rise and Grind. And we do plan on being live this Sunday night as well.
Yeah, we're going to cover the new 3.5-year tribulation doctrine.
Yes, we are. We're gonna take the challenge.
Yeah, we're gonna take the challenge. Well, you already did. But, yeah, man, great night. I really enjoyed this. What a eventful podcast.
Yeah. So where do people learn this type of information, brother?
Only on the Yahweh News Networks.
again, again, again.